Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
This is politically incorrect, but really straight to the point. Listen carefully. A young preteen kid asks his mother, "Mama, what is socialism and what is racism?" "Well, child," she says, "socialism is when working folks work every day so we can get all of our governmental entitlement stuff for free. You know, like free cell phones for each family member, rent subsidy, food stamps, EBT cards, WIC, free school breakfast, lunch, and in some places, supper, free health care, utility subsidy, and you know what? We riot every now and then, and, you know, that's called socialism." And the young man says, "But Mama, don't the working people get teed off about that?" And the mama says, "Sure they do, honey. But when they do, that's called racism and bigotry." Think about that. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch on a Monday, Thanksgiving week, and we've got a lot to be thankful for. And we're thankful for our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations saying get ready for winter driving. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Get on the route service today, 734-6969. Right now, let's go to the phone line, have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, Doug, I got a lot of stories. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, close to 8 stories in this first hour, and I know I want you to call back on a couple of them, so thank you for doing the pledge.
Hey, one quick little thing on your opening statement. Isn't it ironic they use an $800 phone to see how much they have left on their food stamps?
Absolutely. You know what? That just hits it on the head. And I wasn't politically correct, but I tell you what, I stand behind what that opening statement was.
Yes. God bless.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. Hey, we got to run right to the weather forecast, brought to you by Roger over there at K&R Rental and the whole crew there early in the morning at 7 o'clock till 5:30 Monday through Friday, Saturday 7 to 2. K&R Rental at 256 South 300 west of Heyburn. Number to call, number to remember, 678-3122. Always offering the best of rental of tools and equipment. I'm telling you, they can help you, and if you've got questions, they can answer the questions and steer you with the right equipment that you need to get your project finished. You be sure and get a hold of them today. K&R Rental, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for this Monday as we head into a holiday week with Thanksgiving, and here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. Slight chance of rain showers possible, snow showers off and on throughout the day. Snow showers mostly up in the higher elevations, going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Looking at a high of 44 tonight, chance of rain showers, low of 39. Now for tomorrow, Slight chance of rain showers in the morning. Other than that, mostly cloudy skies, high of 54 with an overnight low of 39. For Wednesday, looks like partly cloudy skies, high of 60 with an overnight low of 38. And then for Thanksgiving Day itself, mostly sunny skies and 61. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Whoa! I can take a whole bunch of that kind of weather. Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by K&R Rental at 256 South, 300 west of Heyburn. These are really good folks, and I'll tell you what, you better check out on whether you need tools for a long-term or short-term. They can help you with the name brand equipment at K&R Rental in Heyburn, 678-3122. Happy birthday wish yesterday. I'm sorry we weren't on the air on Sundays, but I want to wish a happy birthday yesterday to Polly Butler. Wonderful lady in Burley. Thank you. And Polly, I hope you had a wonderful, very happy birthday. Thank you very much. Thanksgiving week, and a lot of things to be thankful for. And one of those, of course, Daryl's Cleaners at 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. And, you know, get the drapes cleaned. And, you know, maybe you want to wear your favorite tie that you always wear on Thanksgiving, and you go to the closet and you look and you go, oh my gosh, I still got gravy stains on there from last year at Thanksgiving. Well, run it in to Daryl's Cleaners. Kevin and Cindy, they can clean anything and make it look brand spanking new. Stop in today. Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. Absolutely the best. Daryl's Cleaners. I hope you had a good weekend. A lot of things in the news. Mel Tillis passed away at 85 years of age. I had a chance to meet with him one time. He was working an event that I was working, and I found him to be a very nice man, very nice, pleasant man to be around. And I didn't know some of his back history. He used to be a delivery milkman for a while, and he also worked for the railroad while he was trying to get his songwriting and his singing career on track. And Mel Tillis passing away at 85, and great songwriter and singer, Mel Tillis. By the way, too, let's not forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Oh, my goodness sakes, they get there pretty early in the morning, too. 7:30, they throw open the doors. And I've got to get a hold of them. Deanne, if you think about it, give Rita a call over at Ramsey's, if you would, please. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. All your heating, cooling, electrical needs. Everything right there for you. And I urge you to give them a call. Get ready for all the holidays. Make sure things are running right. Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Really, really good folks. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, on this program, I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm not going to water down a criticism of something when I feel it needs to be criticized. In our Sunday Times News newspaper, on a Sunday edition, the Times News got lower and very, well, just as low as you can get, I think, this Sunday, with a story about drag queens in the Sunday paper. Now, for what benefit? The headline was Drag Queen Planting Seeds of Growth. And it's all about, drag queens. In a Sunday edition newspaper, for what benefit? News? No. Pathetic lifestyle? Yes. And both my wife and I were sickened that this kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 column story would be in our Times News for, again, what benefit? Other than promoting an absolutely ridiculously sickening lifestyle. Here's one of the paragraphs. From styling his customers' hair to inspire a new self-confidence to helping empower his fellow drag queens and LGBT community members to hoping he can reach someone through a play, Malat, the person they're writing about, is always working towards a bigger goal. And then it said later on, this guy, Malat, coordinates and hosts Drag Bingo. Ay, ay, ay. Recently relocated to 1912 Center Street, whatever. This is absolutely asinine. For what purpose? In a Sunday paper. A family paper on Sunday. Drag queen planting seeds of growth. Again, the Times News leaves me just wondering, where in the world is there common sense, if any? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. They're so quick to criticize other people, I think they ought to have the mirror reflecting back at them. Danny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Absolutely the place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Anytime, all the time. We had an outstanding lunch bunch last Thursday. Really a lot of people, a lot of new faces. Man, that was enjoyable to have some really nice new people kind of come down and join in the fun, and we thank Denny's for outstanding service. And Terry made delicious little cupcakes for everybody. I mean, she just goes overboard to help us and be nice to us. Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, 611 North Overland and Burley, and 291 Pole Line in Twin Falls. You stop in and see them today. Really, really nice people. Also want to remind you, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, oh my, I guarantee you one thing. These folks know their business, and they know how to help you get back to being and feeling like yourself. All you need to do is make an appointment at 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, with all the great physical therapists, all the exercises, and the only one of its kind hydrotherapy pool to serve you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 678-1191. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you were talking about Mel Tillis, he was a wonderful person, wasn't he?
I found him to be a very enjoyable, congenial person for the short period of time that I had a chance to visit with him, and that was years and years ago. But yes, I did enjoy him. A nice man.
He played at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo back in the 70s. And my wife was privileged enough to see him perform. And what a performer.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. He made a living by stuttering. And I'll tell you what, that guy was really good at it. But yet, when he didn't need to, he could speak just like anybody else.
No, that's not true. That part is not true. Mel Tillis had a stuttering problem all through his life as a little boy on into the preteens and into his early adulthood, and the problem persisted. As a matter of fact, there was a time back in Nashville that he thought he would never make it as a singer and just make it as a songwriter. And it was absolutely utilized that he used a handicap of stuttering to really propel a career, but he could not turn it off and on whenever he wanted to when he was speaking, but he could when he was singing.
Yes, wasn't it wonderful? Well, this story he told at the Cassia County Fair it went on for about 10 minutes. And, with his stuttering and everything, and you were just in stitches all through it.
Yeah.
And the story, just to say it briefly, was about the time they had to take him to the hospital in an ambulance.
Yeah.
And they asked, and his wife said the sink had a leak under, so he crawled under there, and he was in his underwear, and I guess this ambitious tomcat decided to check on things, and when he touched in a certain place on his body, he raised up and hit his head on the pipe. But that wasn't the end of the story. They thought he was hurt seriously, so they took him. They called the ambulance, and when they come to pick him up, he said that's where his troubles began, because they were telling the story of how it happened, and they got laughing so hard they they dropped him off the gurney.
Yeah, he was a great humorist with his storytelling and everything. But man, at 85 years of age, he had a great full life, great songwriter and singer. Keith, I appreciate your call. I got to pay some bills. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, sir. Thank you much. Hey, don't forget Redder's Showcase. Holy cow, get ready this Friday for the Black Friday sale. Huge Serta Mattress Black Friday sale going on at Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they're waiting to serve you. And this is a huge one-day event, and they've got twin mattresses starting at just $99. And they've got queen sets starting at $299 and a super pillow top for just $599. Holy cow, you better get in there today. Free local delivery and free bed frame or mattress protector or sheets. You better check it all out at Redder's Showcase. Great big Black Friday sale this Friday. One day only, 2611 Overland in Burley. Redder's Showcase. Really good people. And when you speak about good people, you got to talk about Pomerelle Place, located at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley, a place for senior living and for caring. You know, Deanne and I walked through there with Holly about 2 months ago, and I was very impressed with the atmosphere, very impressed with the people. They know what they're doing to make sure that the senior living at Pomerelle Place offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. You need to call them and find out more. The number to call is 677-8212. I'll repeat that number, 677-8212. Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't know if you've been following the story about the 3 UCLA basketball players that were arrested for shoplifting over in China, and one of which was the son of the loudmouth, absolutely pathetic individual, LeVar Ball from California. One of his sons is now playing for the Lakers. This father has made some terrible mistakes and terrible verbiage and terrible things said about the president, and also minimizing what his one son did over in China, saying about shoplifting, it ain't no big deal, to use his words. President Trump basically got these 3 kids off the possibility of going to jail in China for over 10 years. That would have been the sentence. But this despicable parent and very dumb individual, LeVar Ball, come out and discounted and discredited President Trump and his efforts to get his stealing, very stupid kid off the hook. And this is getting bigger and bigger, and the left is picking up on this. I just heard a woman by the name of Marianne Marsh, prior to going on the air this morning, one of the Democratic strategists, and she was saying that how dare President Trump respond to LeVar Ball, the father. I don't blame Trump. Trump was on the hook with the president of China trying to get these kids off of a possible 10-year jail sentence, and he did. And the Democrats are coming out and criticizing Trump for tweeting back to this father about how unappreciative the father was getting his son off the hook. I mean, the left is absolutely nuts. Let's call it like it is. Democrats are nuts and looking for any and all excuses to go in and denigrate and try to upset this president. And all of us should be saying enough is enough. And Trump doesn't take a lot of this garbage. And he's responded back on his Twitter account. Whether you think that's right or wrong, I don't care. I think if I were the president and I had gone over there and I had got off the students from UCLA for being stupid and shoplifting, you kind of expect maybe a thank you or maybe a little warm and fuzzy that you did a good job, President Trump, thank you very much. But no, the left starts criticizing. It's absolutely insane. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Forever Green Lawn and Tree Care. Hey, you know what? They can put up Christmas lights for you. That's right. They've got a very experienced staff, and they design custom-fitting light strands to match the specific needs of your house or your business. You better call them. They're really good at what they do. I talked to them the other day, as a matter of fact. Call Forever Green Lawn and Tree Care at 423-6454. That number again, 423-6454 for a free quote or schedule an appointment. Forever Green Lawn and Tree Care. By the way, too, don't forget, pardon the chuckle, Dino Septic Service over in Rupert. Every single, and I have had a lot of calls. I've had a lot of calls about Dino Septic Service. Do they really have a truck that says on the side, smells cargo? And I said, yes, they do. I tell you what, they do a job you and I don't want to do. Septic tanks pumped, and septic tanks and drain fields installed, and sewer and sink drain lines cleaned. Ooh. And I mean, they are good at what they do. Liquid waste removal, septic inspections, fast, fair-friendly service. Call them today over in Rupert, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Dino Septic Service. They're the best at a job that you and I don't want to do. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. In just a few moments, I'm going to talk about another absolutely, I don't even know what word to use, athlete that has denigrated our national anthem while in another country, and still some of his ilk are doing it here in this country as players of the NFL. We're going to talk about that in just a few moments. Stay tuned. Right now, I want to remind everybody about our dear friends at the Urgent Care. Oh, my goodness. If you're unaware of what the Urgent Cares can do for you, they can save you money and help you with your health care. Now, here's what they say. Why not just pay for the services that you need? Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Urgent Care of Twin Falls and Jerome can take care of 96% of all your health care needs at a much more affordable cost and save you money. They offer a plan with no premium that can help you manage high deductibles, and Urgent Care of Twin Falls, Jerome, and Burley, they can take care of, like I said, 96% of all your health care needs, and they're open 7 days a week with extended hours. Get treated, not seated. No appointment necessary. They are really good at what they do, and they provide so many services, taking care of all the stitches and the lacerations, sprains, strains, and fractures, chemical burns, drug screening, DOT physicals. I'm telling you, they are great, and we're so proud to have them here. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley at 382 North Overland, Urgent Care of Jerome at 133 West Avenue A in Jerome, and Urgent Care of Twin Falls, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin. Don't forget, your urgent cares are serving and helping you. Oh, calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to give away a dozen cookies right now. Yes, I am, to Sophie's Chatterbox. Over in Rupert, right on the square, 530 East Street in Rupert. Now, this is for first-time winners. Please, come on, be honest. And this question this morning, you're going to have to, if you're not my age and you're younger, you're going to have to quickly look this up. If you are my age, you should have this one figured out. For a dozen delicious cookies at Sophie's Chatterbox, Lawrence Welk, the old Champagne music maker, was born in what state? Lawrence Welk, the old a one and a two and a here comes a Myron Florin. The old Champagne music maker was born in what state? For a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox, and all you have to do is call them and let them know when you'll be over there to get your cookies. What state was the great band leader Lawrence Welk born in? What state? Give me a call quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Us older folks probably remember that right off the top, but why isn't the phone ringing? Quickly give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What state was Lawrence Welk born in? And, of course, you know, he had all those great folks on that program. The Lennon sisters, remember that? Larry Hooper and Norma Zimmer and all those people. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, I think I'm going to end it real quick, Zeb. North Dakota.
Who is this?
This is Randy Wageman. Nephew.
Randy Wageman, you have just won a dozen cookies over at Sophie's Chatterbox. Congratulations. Call them and let them know when you're coming in for the cookies, okay?
I certainly will, sir. You have a great day, and now I can start on having one myself.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Bye-bye.
Strasburg, North Dakota was the birthplace of Lawrence Welk, North Dakota, from back in the Midwest. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There were more set-downs and kneel-downs in the NFL yesterday. It's so repugnant. Some of the Miami Dolphins, some of the New York Giants, and the most despicable of all, in my opinion, was Marshawn Lynch. This guy's a renegade anyway, and kind of a dipstick, if you want to know the truth. Used to play for the Seattle Seahawks and now playing for the Raiders. The Raiders were playing the New England Patriots in basically kind of an international game yesterday in Mexico City. Every now and then, and they're going to do it every year, I guess, from now on. They're going to take one of their games of the NFL and play it in Mexico. Well, Marshawn Lynch for the Raiders sat during our national anthem, but he stood for the Mexican national anthem. And I absolutely agree with President Donald Trump. Suspend him. Fire him. Can them all. I mean, we do not need this kind of unpatriotic and disrespect for our country and our national anthem. And a punk athlete, Marshawn Lynch. Absolutely. I'd make sure that when he got here to the United States this morning, he gets a little pink slip that says, Marshawn, we don't need you anymore. You know, I don't blame President Trump for saying he's had it with these punk athletes showing their disrespect to our great country. I think all of us feel their attendance is down, their ticket sales are down. Look at the empty stadium seats. I saw that myself. I looked around this weekend on the dial. I didn't watch any games in its entirety because I wouldn't do that. I said I'm done with the NFL until they clean up their act. And by cleaning up their act, they'd better issue an edict through a milquetoast, cheesy, wobbly-kneed commissioner, Roger Goodell, that is absolutely worthless. And I stand behind Jerry Jones saying that his contract should not be renewed. He should not get a $50 million contract. He should not get a private jet plane for the rest of his life for use. I say renegotiate or get somebody else. And I agree totally with Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and the rest of those milquetoast owners. Siding against Jerry Jones is absolutely ridiculous. The NFL is in trouble, and rightfully so, because of punks running the organization. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Boy, come on, wake up, give me a call, 436-2244. I'd love to hear from you, please. While I'm waiting for your call, I also want to remind you Good old boy Scott Minton called and said, hey, tell everybody that I handle all the Keelix supplements, a very important supplement of vitamins and minerals for all your livestock. Scott Minton, you give him a call. I'll give you the number. Write it down. Holler at him. 435-230-1175. I'll repeat it, 435-230-1175. Call him to help you provide your cattle what they need. Keelix supplements can help fight disease, help maintain proper function of reproductive systems, digestive systems, and the nervous systems. And they come in a variety of formulas. You call him today. Scott Minton, 435-230-1175 for the Keelix supplements. Absolutely a very important supplement for your livestock. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Let's see what else is on in the news. Country singer Neil McCoy. I got to tell you this. I worked with Neil a long time ago. It was probably in the late 90s back in the Midwest at a rodeo. And I like the guy. He's pretty straightforward and tells it like it is. Well, country singer Neil McCoy has written a new song about some of these absolutely pathetic athletes that are taking a knee during our national anthem. And the title of his song is Take a Knee, My... I'll just let that go. And I was really shocked and really delighted this morning that former NFL great Herschel Walker came out and said what these players are doing is wrong and totally disgusting. Amen, and God bless Herschel Walker. We need more people to step up and tell these people they're acting like punks. Your thoughts, boy, oh boy, come on, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We've got a lot of Thanksgiving wishes to pass out here this morning, and I'm going to give you some of those right now. Happy Thanksgiving from Snake River Auto Body and Paint, 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. Hello, Ken or Dan. These are the best people in the world, I know, because they fixed my outfit. Snake River Auto Body and Paint in Twin, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. As is Streamline Precision at 120 South, 100 West of Burley with old Tim and the crew. They do it all. Excavation, underground piping, utilities, trenching. You bet. Wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. Streamline Precision. Pickett Equipment Company. Hello, Steve and the crew at 976 East Main in Burley. Thanking all the farmers for another great year. Pickett Equipment with the best farm equipment for you. I'll tell you, all your best in bean equipment. Pickett Equipment in Burley. And the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, 1177 7th Avenue in Heyburn. Wow, they got some wonderful, one-of-a-kind holiday gifts. I mean, everything right there in their store. You're going to love it at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. You stop in and see these great folks today, 1177 7th Avenue in Heyburn. Caller, good morning. How are you today?
I'm finer than a frog hair split four ways.
And that is very fine.
Very fine.
Very fine.
Yep. That Mel Tillis, I got the pleasure of seeing him in CSI in years and years ago, and he is an entertainer.
Yep.
And that story that Keith told, he told the same story down there, and he had the crowd in stitches. And he seemed like a wonderful person.
He is.
On the side of his bus, it had MEL-L-L-L.
Yeah.
L-L.
You know, what he did, he took a speech impediment and turned it into a huge marketing plus for his career.
He did. He did. And then on another note, that those three guys that got shoplifting in China.
Oh.
President Trump done a fantastic thing to step in and did what he did. But now the proof is in the pudding to see if those boys learned anything.
Well, wait a minute. Stop right there. How can anyone, whether they're 18, 22, 30, it doesn't make any difference of their age, how can you learn anything when your father comes out with a stupid statement like shoplifting? That ain't no big deal.
I know it. And that's scary that man was responsible for raising his child, and look how his child is turning out.
Yeah.
And this is what you get. If you do not teach your children responsibility, respect, then this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, but wait a minute. I want to talk about shoplifting a little bit. Why would anyone, especially a parent, be so stupid to say in kind of a street slang, shoplifting ain't no big deal? Listen, you're stealing. You're taking a product from a store and trying to hide it, and going outside the store, you have stolen. Not only is it breaking a commandment, but it's also breaking the law. And quite frankly, I don't see how anybody can call themselves a dad and say something so doggone dumb.
Exactly. It's scary that people with that attitude are raising the next generation. And speaking of shoplifting, when I was a freshman in high school, I got caught over at Safeways in Rupert. I got running with a couple guys that I shouldn't have been running with, and they talked me into doing something. And there was a gentleman over there, Red Douglas, was the manager, and he caught me. Well, he took me in his office, and he said, I could call the police, but he says, I know your dad. I think I'm going to call your dad instead.
Oh, boy.
And so the rest of that day, I was sweating bullets. I went home that night, nothing. And about 10 years later, I seen Red. And I says, Red, you never did call my dad, did you? And he says, no. He says, did you take anything ever again? And I says, no. He says, good, we solved it, right?
Oh, boy. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate your candor on this, because I think shoplifting, even though people try to minimize it like LeVar Ball, it's absolutely, you're just absolutely taking from the people in your community that are supporting you.
Exactly. Yeah. And, that was a big lesson for me. So we'll see if these young men learn that lesson, whether his dad is behind him or not.
I agree. Hey, man, I got another call waiting, and I appreciate it, Doug. Thank you.
Hey, remember this Christmas season, let's take care of our senior centers. Let's do what we can, book their facilities for parties. Let's do what we can to help them out.
I appreciate it, Doug. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right with you, and stay tuned. Redder Showcase is going to be having a great big Black Friday sale this Friday, one day only. Oh, my. Any item over $499 will receive free local delivery, free haul-off of your old bed, free bed frame or mattress protector or sheets, up to 18 months, same as cash on approved credit. Wow! You better not miss this at Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. Great, big, huge Serta mattress sale on Black Friday this Friday. Don't you miss it at Redder Showcase. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Zeb. This is Willie from Utah.
Hello, Willie. What's going on this morning?
Well, on these shoplifters, I think the president was wrong to intervene on their behalf at this point. I think he should have let them go ahead, be charged in Chinese court, maybe sentenced, and then if they can't buy their way out of this problem, then he could, contact them and say, hey, can't you let these guys go or whatever. But I think they learned no lesson at all. I think they showed themselves just to be punks and thugs, and they probably think it's just a joke, to steal from a store. And, what kind of an example is that, if they imagine what would have happened if they'd have been caught shoplifting in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, boy.
Cut their hands off.
Yep.
And, these guys are, I don't know, it's just so many of these professional athletes are spoiled. They think they're above the law. They are, they think they're just God's gift, and they are not good role models for kids. It's just terrible.
You know, I absolutely...
I wish the president had not intervened, personally.
I agree with what you just said. Let me just jump in here, Willie. I agree with what you just said. As a matter of fact, I think that's the best thing that could have happened. I mentioned about a week and a half ago when this story came out that I wish President Trump would have made a little deal behind the scenes with the president of China and said, hey, let these kids sweat for a little bit. Let them squirm a little bit so they learn something, and then maybe release them on your say-so about 10 days later. But for this parent, this absolutely repugnant parent like LeVar Ball to say shoplifting, that ain't no big deal. How in the world are these kids ever going to learn anything?
Right. And what message does that send to young people everywhere about, oh, hey, shoplifting's okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Even professional athletes do it, you know? Jeez. It's just horrible.
Well,
anyway.
I appreciate your call.
I have no respect for NFL or whatever group these athletes were with. I don't follow sports. I don't even know were they basketball players or football players or what. I don't know. But I just think it's kind of the typical of the whole, profession, it seems, anymore.
I agree with you, and I thank you for your call. I got to run to the weather, and thank you very much.
Have a good
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
I want to say they were UCLA basketball players, but the thought that he just gave us was absolutely correct. Why do they feel special? Why do athletes today like Marshawn Lynch and the others that are disrespecting our national anthem? And I can go on with a host of names in the NFL of people that have gotten in trouble, whether it's Ezekiel Elliott with domestic abuse. What difference? Why do they feel special? And quite frankly, these three dum-dums from UCLA, probably coming from backgrounds to where they didn't need to steal. They had the money, they had the resources, they could have paid for it, but they did it just so they could get away with it. And Donald Trump got them off the hook. And now the left is criticizing Trump. It's ridiculous. Let's take a look at our weather forecast right now, brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. What? You didn't hear that? Well, maybe you better get a hearing screening from the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup today, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Call for an appointment at 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, here's a not too bad a forecast. Go ahead, Gina.
Here's your weather forecast for this Monday as we head into a holiday week with Thanksgiving, and here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. Slight chance of rain showers possible, snow showers off and on throughout the day. Snow showers mostly up in the higher elevations, going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Looking at a high of 44 tonight, chance of rain showers, low of 39. Now for tomorrow, slight chance of rain showers in the morning. Other than that, mostly cloudy skies, high of 54 with an overnight low of 39. For Wednesday, looks like partly cloudy skies, high of 60 with an overnight low of 38. And then for Thanksgiving Day itself, mostly sunny skies and 61. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
And she does a great... Thursday, Turkey Day, does not sound too bad for Thanksgiving. Sounds pretty good. 62? I'll take that any day in November. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Christine Pickup, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. Call for a hearing screening today. 312-0957. You know, there's so much in the news that needs to be talked about, and I also wanted to acknowledge a despicable college in New York, Brooklyn College. You know, thanks to a 20-year-old student, probably doesn't know Khmer from Sikkim, probably being funded to go to school by his rich daddy and mommy, a 20-year-old student started a petition drive to keep the police, the New York police, off the campus. I'm not kidding you. And they don't even want the police, if they are doing anything on the campus, to even be allowed to use the restrooms. They want to keep New York's police out of sight. A junior who's majoring in psychology, and believe me, he's junior in a lot of ways, who only gave his name as Abe, said it was far and away the worst place to go on campus when they have to see the police. They said it's inhibiting. Oh, they said it causes them problems. This 20-year-old junior majoring in psychology said it was weird seeing cops on campus, and he said, it makes me afraid. Grow up, you pansies. This is absolutely pathetic, and they told the police that if they were investigating anything, they had to use a broken-down restroom at the far end of the campus that absolutely is so filthy. I have a picture of it here on this paper that was sent to me. It's ridiculous. The bathroom is horrendous, they said. You can only wash your hands in one of the sinks because everything else in the facility is broken and filthy. And they don't want the police on their campus. And the New York Police Department, a sergeant chief by the name of Ed Mullins, suggested maybe it's time these students who fail to recognize the value of those protecting them go take classes abroad where they can have their bathrooms all to themselves. Some of the other verbiage that was put in this story I can't even say on the radio. But these pansies, these absolutely stupid students that don't want to see police on their campus. And may I add that it was thanks to the New York Police Department on this campus a couple of years ago, they found and arrested a couple of women that were stockpiling tanks of propane gas for an ISIS-inspired attack. And yet the rest of the pansies and wussies on this Brooklyn college don't want the police on campus. Ay, ay, ay. We're letting these kids, these 20-year-old know-nothing kids, like I said a moment ago, that don't know Khmer from Sikkim, we're letting them run the campus. Where's the leadership? Where is the leadership? Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. 3 locations to serve you, to help you get the equipment to get the job done right. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with old Juan and the crew. Hey, let me tell you, they've got all the Bobcat excavators, new and used excavators for sale or rent, all shapes and sizes. They've got all the, all the equipment rentals. Got a frog in my throat this morning. And all the retail equipment sales at Barry Equipment and Rental. You be sure and stop in and see them today. Don't know how to drive a Bobcat? Well, I'll tell you what, they got a big sandbox out behind. They'll teach you. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Barry Equipment and Rental, absolutely the best. Evil finally died. And I mean that. Evil, one aspect of it, finally died. Charles Manson, dead. Do you realize that he was given the death sentence in California in 1971? He was supposed to go to the gas chamber. California took away the death penalty, and this filth, this evil Charles Manson, lived in prison for the last 46 years at a cost to the taxpayers of close to $5 million. Evil finally died. Finally. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Get ready for wintertime driving. Absolutely. They've got the best of tires for your cars, your pickups, your SUVs. They've got all the different tread designs to get you through the snow, the yuck, and the ice, and everything. Oh, boy. Because doing the right thing matters, and they always do the right thing with the best of tires for you, for your driving conditions. Please stop in and see them today. Don't wait. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service with highly trained brake technicians, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. Now, when the weather does decide to go whoop right down to the single digits, you better be ready with a good battery. They've got the best right there. With Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Okie doke, folks. What we're going to do is we're going to take off and let the big boys from CBS come in and mess things up. And don't forget, I want to wish you and yours every day this week a very happy Thanksgiving. Hope your families are all going to get together. You're going to have a whole bunch to eat and enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving from Zeb and Deanne at Zeb at the Ranch. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels. Take it away. Oh, here we go. Hour number 2 on a Monday. Thanksgiving week. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and we want to say thank you to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Don't forget, they've got the dumpsters in various sizes. Boy, you can just have one of those, fill it up, clean the house out for the holidays. Woo, you are in Fat City. You're going to love it. Give them a call today. They are always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, 734-6969. Absolutely the best. Do not forget the great big Black Friday sale going on this Friday at Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. I'm telling you, 2611 Overland and Burley, the hot spot for the great big huge Serta mattress Black Friday sale at Redder's Showcase. Oh my! All their Sertas are marked down during this one great big huge one-day event. Don't you miss it. Going to be a lot of fun for you and save money. You better stop in and see them, and that's Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley, open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 5, and the great big Black Friday sale coming up this Friday. Don't you miss it. Real quick, I also want to say thank you, as we always do every day on our program, for some wonderful, wonderful people serving you in really a traumatic time. And that's when there's the passing of a loved one. You know, there are people out there that want to really serve you and help you with all the arrangements, and they do the job for you and your family with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, always serving you. Please call them at 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, 436-5636. It is Monday, and one of my dearest friends for a long, long time on the radio with us, as he has been for years and years, Frosty Woldridge. Good morning, my dear buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. Always a pleasure, sir. And yet another Monday morning, and here we go.
You know, I got to tell you something, Frost, that when I got your latest piece, there's only one bit of criticism that I would levy at the piece, and that was in the headline itself. I do not hyphenate Americans anymore. I refuse to do it. And I wouldn't say black Americans shoplifting in China because I think that sounds very callous. I would have said Negro basketball players from UCLA shoplifting in China. I would have gone after them like a junkyard dog, and I wish that President Trump would not have got them off the hook.
Well, especially with the fact that one of the fathers, I think it was Jalen, or no, it was Ball.
Yeah, LeVar Ball. Yeah.
D'Angelo Ball. His father said that shoplifting was no big thing. It goes on all the time, and that Trump didn't do any favors for these kids. I can tell you this right now. Those kids would be in a Chinese jail at hard labor for at least 10 years. We all know what happened to that North Korean kid who just took a banner out of North Korea. He comes back and dies because he had gotten poisoned. Of course, Barack Obama let him rot in the jail for, I think it was 17 months. And he was tortured and he was treated horribly. And then, of course, poisoned. And he comes back and he dies. These three kids got off scot-free when literally if Trump hadn't stepped in, they would be in jail for the next 10 years at a minimum. That father, unfortunately, was a very poor father because he allowed his kids to shoplift, and then he defends their shoplifting. It's pathetic on so many different levels, I can't hardly believe it.
Well, let's talk about this guy. He's been a loudmouth parent for quite some time. Wheels, watch the gain on the feedback, please. And he's got a boy that graduated, went to the NBA, and he's always been saying that his son that plays for the Lakers now is better than Michael Jordan, which is an absolute idiotic thing to say. And then he's got this other boy that plays for UCLA that was arrested over there with Jalen Hill and Cody Riley. His name is LiAngelo Ball. But the father, LeVar Ball, has been nothing but a loudmouth lout. And to say that shoplifting ain't no big deal, this is absolute lunacy, and that's why we have the problem with the younger generation today.
Well, that's correct, and I do bring out in the article, and you can all go to newswithviews.com to see it, and quite a few other news service websites out there. The fact is that almost $49 billion a year in mercantile goods gets shoplifted across this country. It turns out to be well over $20 million a day. And what, all shops appreciate is that we are good citizens and that we understand that we pay for mercantile goods and then we walk out the door with those goods that we bought. And most shops don't have any kind of electronic, checking and so forth. And so these kids that are in the inner city and across the country, really, that are shoplifting that $20 million plus per day, are making all of us pay more money for those goods because that has to be incorporated into their ability to function and operate as a going enterprise. And so it is a big deal, especially when it's $49 billion a year being shoplifted. And again, it's over $20 million a day. So men like Ball's father, he's an absolute, I guess you could just say he's a criminal. He advocates criminality, and his son, in this case, got away with it. I understand that UCLA actually has suspended all three of those basketball players. I think they should not only be suspended, they ought to be just kicked out of the university because they have no integrity whatsoever. And you got to know this, every one of those kids was shoplifting from the time they were 12 years old and on, or even sooner. And that's been a way of life for them.
What you just said, though, I couldn't agree with you more. As a matter of fact, I've been very emphatic on my program. Suspension is one thing, but suspension when UCLA needs them in the pinch of maybe trying to make it to the Final Four or win an NCAA championship, they'll probably get it reinstated. And the problem is they're not going to learn anything from that. I agree with you that they should have been shown the door and turned in their locker key because they're no longer a part of UCLA basketball. A tradition of great basketball going back to John Wooden and other greats being diminished and tarnished with the stupidity of these three players.
Well, and again, this stupidity and this essentially arrogance in violation of our laws, in violation of being a good citizen, in violation of being personally accountable and personally responsible for your actions. You know, in the end, the one kid said, "I take full responsibility for the mistake I've made shoplifting." That was Riley. No, they didn't take responsibility, and they got off scot-free, which means that they will continue on their shoplifting talents in the coming years until they get caught again, or they may not get caught again. You have to appreciate that with over $20 million a day being shoplifted out of mercantile stores across this country, a whole lot of people are not getting caught.
You know, what does it say about our society when now today our President Trump is taking heat from the left because the left doesn't like the fact that LeVar Ball said, oh, it's no big deal, and Trump, he didn't do anything, he didn't help us that much. And the left sides with the father, LeVar Ball, and they criticize Donald Trump. This is insane.
Well, it's also the same reason that you have Hillary Clinton, who was selling off the uranium and making deals with the Clinton Foundation and raking in millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And to this day, Hillary Clinton should be facing jail because she should be at least facing a special prosecutor for all of the illegal activities that she has done with her Clinton Foundation. But thus far, there's no movement in that direction. So essentially, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are getting away with scot-free with breaking the law on so many levels, and they're just doing it again with white-collar crimes. So that, again, you're seeing this almost this pernicious illegality and crime going on in this country by those who feel that they can get away with it, and they do get away with it. And it'll be interesting if Hillary Clinton, one of the biggest criminals in the United States of America, gets away with it in the end.
Did you hear, I'm glad you brought this up, Frosty, but did you hear the idiocy and incompetency of Hillary Clinton when her and Bill were on a stage together this last week, and she said Bill Clinton would not have survived if Fox News had been around earlier. She absolutely blamed Fox News for Bill Clinton's indiscretions. This is unbelievable.
Well, you know, that kind of statement and that kind of situation, you have to laugh and then you just want to cry.
Yeah.
But again, when people that are criminals or shoplifters or liars or whatever they are that is not in fact the truth, that don't stand with integrity, it becomes such a norm. I mean, when I taught in the inner city there in Michigan way back in the early 70s. And I mean the violence and the crime and the incest and these poor girls getting pregnant at 13 and the welfare that started coming in because of the Johnson Great Society. It took away personal accountability and personal responsibility. And if you look at it, you know, from look at the results of all of this, we've got 48 million people on food stamps. We've got people dropping out of high school to the tune of 50% of the class in the inner cities, as high as 67% here in Denver, dropping out and flunking out. Again, you have a whole generations now in cyclical poverty that are totally unaccountable, personally responsible as far as studying, as far as being integrous and getting a job, mowing the lawn or getting a paper out or whatever. And whomever they can do whatever they can do to be responsible. That's just not going on. You're talking all of these people living off the government, but in fact they're living off of you and me and the work that we do. I mean, I put in a 50-hour week every week. I have most of my adult life, and I get to pay for all these people doing nothing. It's a little bit disconcerting.
Hey, can I read something to you that I read the first hour of my program, and it fits in right here. Again, Wheels, we got a little feedback on the line if you'd watch that a little bit. It takes about maybe 45 seconds. Listen to this very carefully, and it tells exactly what you're mentioning right now. A young preteen kid asks his mother, "Mama, what is socialism? And what is racism?" Well, child, the mama says, socialism is when working folks work every day so we can get all of our governmental entitlement stuff for free. You know, like free cell phones for each family member, rent, subsidy, food stamps, EBT cards, WIC, free school breakfast, lunch, and some places supper, free health care, utility subsidies, and we riot every now and then. And you know, that's called socialism. But the boy says, but Mama, don't the working people get teed off about that? And the mother says, sure they do, honey. But when they do that, that's called racism and bigotry.
Oh boy, that takes your breath away, and that's exactly correct. Socialism, and I think there was I think it was Winston Churchill who said of socialism that it works as long as you don't run out of everybody else's money, and in the end, socialism obviously, Bernie Sanders, what a nitwit. I mean, he's a nitwit. He sits there and says, well, no one can be responsible for themselves. But let's have all the people that are responsible for themselves, that get an education, that stay in school, that work and get a job. And literally, I don't care what the job is, whether you're a tire changer or whether you're a shop manager or whether you're a paper boy or whether you're a janitor sweeping the floors, and I've been a janitor sweeping the floors, whether you're a lifeguard, you get a job in this society and you contribute and you become a productive citizen. Socialism is a recipe for non-responsible persons, and we've all seen them. I remember there's a YouTube out there with a black gal, and she's in California. She's got 4 kids. Everything she has is for free. And at the end of the interview, she says, my EBT card buys me a Subway sandwich. It gets a pizza down at Domino's. I get and then I have this nice apartment. And she's just bragging about this in the interview. And at the end, she says, I just don't understand why anyone would want to work in America.
Yeah.
She said that. Doesn't understand why anyone would want to work in America because she's getting all of it free. That needs to stop. She needs to be accountable. And at some point, we have got, and as I said in my column today, when I was working my usual 14-hour days working for United Van Lines there in Detroit, Michigan for 20 years, the Detroit Free Press back in the 80s, was 85 or so, came out with the fact that one lady on aided dependent children had 24 children. She had 24 children, and she, of course, was a black American. And all she did was have babies to make money because she was getting like $1,600 a month for each one of those children. And she drove a Cadillac, of course. And,
oh, my.
And 24 kids. And, of course, those 24 kids were like 24 different guys. And so that's what has happened to a black America and the cyclical poverty. And then you have a father like Ball out there defending his kid for shoplifting. No wonder the black community, again, has 7 out of 10 children are born out of wedlock. There's a loss of personal accountability and personal responsibility, but that's what's going on. It needs to change, and we need to change it by absolutely forcing and stopping this kind of cyclical poverty by giving so much welfare out. We need to take all of these people on this cyclical welfare. We need to take them to task. We need to absolutely get them into schooling. We need to get them into jobs. We need to make that happen. That's the whole key of this column that I just wrote.
You know, and I wanted to ask you, too, this morning, and we haven't had a chance to discuss this too much in past programs, with this absolute lunacy of these multi-million-dollar NFL athletes taking a knee or sitting during our national anthem. And the absolute worst happened yesterday when the Raiders were playing the Patriots in Mexico City. Marshawn Lynch, that plays for the Raiders, sat during the United States national anthem and stood during the Mexican national anthem. I am like a lot of people saying, fire his, you know what, today, kick him off the team. I'm fed up with this.
Well, I would agree, but I have to say one thing about Marshawn Lynch. He's nothing more than a beast. I mean, he doesn't have a brain.
Yeah.
He's just a beast. He's like a bull in a china shop, and he charges through the line. He gets paid millions of dollars for it. But as far as a thinking, contributing, intellectual human being, he's not. He's just a beast of a man. I would fear getting into a conversation with him because I'm not sure he could put two coherent sentences together. And so when you have that kind of lack of intelligence and education, there's just no telling what that kind of a person would do. And obviously, so many of these African American NFL players, black or whatever you want to call them, I mean, they literally have very little education. If it wasn't for the NFL or the NBA, they'd be driving taxis. They would be doing janitor work because they don't have any other skills. They don't have any education. They were, you and I both know back in college, all these kids that are going to these colleges, they're taking basket weaving. They're not taking any math and science and calculus and hardcore subjects like we all had to take. And so that's what you get in the end. And they don't have any broad-based intellectual comprehension of how fortunate they are, because if they were back in Africa at this point in time, they'd be starving. They'd be in a refugee camp. That's the reality of Africa right now. And so anyway, again, they just don't understand how fortunate they are.
You know what? I've only got a minute left here, so keep your response fairly short. But really, you touched on it. Pride in being an American citizen. We are so blessed. We are so blessed by our God, our Creator, that we live in this great country because it's the greatest country, still with the most opportunity for anyone. How can they be so stupid as to denigrate the silver spoon they've been handed?
Well, again, if your norm is to shoplift, or your norm is to be unappreciative, or your norm is not to be loyal to your country, then that's your norm. And unfortunately, in this country, whether it's an Al Sharpton or a Jesse Jackson, who are two fraudulent black men that just whip up and race bait everything, and all the other ones that support that. That's what you've got, and this is what these very spoiled brats that have no personal accountability to continue on their little their paths, and there's just not much you can do about it, because once they're in that path, they're going to stay there because they don't have enough intellectual, cultural, or social understanding how fortunate they are, so they just continue on their path. You know, Luis Gutierrez out there in Chicago, he's the same way. He's a Mexican pretending to be a U.S. congressman, and he promotes illegal immigration. He promotes anarchy. And yet he just doesn't realize how fortunate he is to be in our country.
I agree. Frosty, I just wished I had more time, but I'm out of time, and I want to wish you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving. Be sure and enjoy a great big slice of turkey cut with a Zeb at the Ranch knife. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
And I'll do that, Zeb. And happy Thanksgiving to one and all, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, God bless, man. Thank you. My dear friend, Frosty Woolridge in Golden, Colorado. Great guy. Really appreciate him. By the way, if you've got animals, whether you got little bitty kitty cat or a whole bunch of dairy cattle or horses or whatever, you better make sure you make friends with Dr. Bill and the crew over at Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. They are a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them and can take care of them all. Absolutely fantastic veterinary service for you over in Hayburn. The number to call, number to remember, 678-1177. I'll repeat it again, 678-1177, Ark Animal Hospital. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Really good folks. Hey, by the way, Thanksgiving this week, and we want to be sure and mention some people that want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, and they include Golden Valley Warehouse, 468 West, 1000 South of Burley. They thank all their customers for their business, and they've been in the business of selling quality seed for a long time. Golden Valley Warehouse, along with Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Oh my, they do it all. All your dairy operation needs, from dairy parlors, free stalls, robotic barns, everything. You call Tim and the crew today at 678-9204. Streamline Precision. Joe Taylor. Boy, I mean, there's a man that is absolutely very unique, very knowledgeable, and he knows real estate. Joe Taylor, 425 Overland in Burley. Number to call, 678-9400. He wishes you and yours yours a very happy Thanksgiving. Along with Clark's for Shopping at 100 East Main Street in Oakley. Oh, what about that delicious Grandma's recipe sausage for Thanksgiving morning? Woo! It comes in bulk, patties or links. It's delicious from Clark's Shopping in Oakley. Absolutely the best. In just a few minutes, we're going to have one of my favorite guests on the phone, and that's Richard Manning. And Richard really tells it like it is when it comes to everything that's going on in the government today. And we're going to have him in just a few moments. I've got a note here I need to get on the air quickly. Ray Smith, lovely lady, sent me this note that Century Cinema 5 Movie Theater is going to have a Christmas movie special this coming Saturday, November 25th, with showings at 9 a.m. and also 11 a.m. And admission is 2 cans of food, and all the food goes to the Christmas Council. Concessions and employees' time is donated for the Mini-Cassia Community Chest and Coats for Kids. That's going to be coming up this next Saturday, November 25th, and I urge you to please participate. Also, our friends over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Had a nice talk with Emily the other day. Oh, my goodness sakes, yes, they are getting everything all ready for you for the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays and New Year's. Don't forget, you better get in there and check out all the sofas and all the chairs and all the floor covering, all the carpet vinyl and the luxury vinyl planks. Everything you need to really spiffy up your home. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. With our old buddy Jeff Bronson, he's going to be talking to us on Wednesday morning at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. You stop in and see them today at 459 Overland in Burley. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Wow. Let's see, what else have I got in public service announcements quickly before I get Richard on the phone. I want to remind you the American Falls Community Choir, directed by Dan Bowman and accompanied by David Bowman, will be presenting their annual Christmas concert at the Rupert United Methodist Church on 8th Street in Rupert, December 11th. That's Monday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m. Do not miss that. Quickly, our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, but it's a lot more than that. It's personalized service to help you. I know for a fact that they are there serving you to the best of their ability, very dedicated and responsive. Please get a hold of them today. Call them at 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and very honored to have this gentleman on our program. He is the president of Americans for Limited Government, Amen, and he has worked directly with President Trump in the past on trade issues. Good morning, Richard Manning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Zeb. How are you?
I'm frustrated. I got to tell you something, Richard. I got a real short German temper. I'm not proud of it, but I'm absolutely livid to think that there's such a split in the Republican Party. We know the Democrats aren't going to help this administration, and these Republican crybabies like Jeff Flake and many others, they're doing nothing but causing problems. What are your thoughts?
No, they are. They're doing nothing but causing problems. It's members of Congress aren't elected to rubber stamp what the executive branch wants, but one would assume that when they run on the basis of, if we just get a Republican president in, we're going to be able to do all this stuff, and then they undermine everything they said they wanted to do, well, you begin to wonder whether they're lying to you from the beginning, and clearly they were. President Trump has a challenge, and his challenge is not only in the Senate, but it's in the House. But his challenge is simple. He's got senators like Jeff Flake, like Dean Heller. He's got senators who are Bob Corker, Lamar Alexander, for that matter. You can go. I did it. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, John McCain. So that's 7 right there. And of those 7, in order to get anybody confirmed, you have to get 5 of them to agree. So you've got a really, really difficult path because you have a bunch of senators who really don't think Donald Trump should be president, and they are obstructing him, and it makes, quite honestly, for all the complaints about Mitch McConnell, and I've been leading the charge on that, his job is an extremely hard job because he's got a conference of Republicans who don't want Donald Trump to succeed.
We can talk about this until heck freezes over, but I'm absolutely appalled. Wheels over at the station, you've got to watch the feedback on the line, please. But I'm not seeing any changes, whether it's John McCain or Murkowski or Collins or whether it's Flake or whatever. And they seem to be getting all the press, and they minimize everything that President Trump is trying to do. They've got to get this tax plan through, or they're going to fall flat on their face, and we're going to see the Democrats take over. That's it, plain and simple, and that's the way I feel.
Well, I think they need to do more than the tax plan. As a initial step, it's a tax plan. They've got it, but they also have to get the tax plan right. It's not just about getting something passed; they have to get it right. And in looking at it, there are some significant concerns that a lot of the tax plan is really geared towards giving tax breaks to people who voted for Obama or for Clinton. And people who voted for Trump aren't going to be treated quite as kindly on the individual tax returns. But overall, it's the business tax side of it is going to be is going to cause dynamic growth in a year to year and a half, 2 years. And on the individual side, they've got to get it right and make certain that people who voted for Donald Trump voted for them for election, or don't end up with a net tax increase with all the moving around of money that they're doing. And right now, I don't think they've got it right yet. I think they've got a way to get there, but right now they don't have it right.
Richard, I'll take your expertise on this, but then on another issue with Jeff Sessions, is this guy as the Attorney General, is he doing the job that's necessary, or is he too meek and mild-mannered? Is he going to go after Hillary like she should be gone after for all the illegalities? What's going on here with Jeff Sessions? Is he going to be around after Christmas or gone?
Well, I hope he's going to be around after Christmas. Although I don't have any inside information on that. I think I'll just tell you what I think. I think Jeff Sessions is the right man for the job. I think he's the right man for the job for the very specific reason that if you're going to actually do a real investigation of a former First Lady who was the immediate candidate for president, losing candidate for president, a former U.S. senator, and you're going to do an investigation that really goes to the heart of whether or not she betrayed the country through a Uranium One sale, for one thing. You want to do it in a very circumspect, very quiet, gathering the evidence kind of way. It doesn't need a lot of flash. It doesn't need a lot of Facebook posts and other social media talk about it. It doesn't need a lot of leaks. What it needs to be is it needs to be right. It needs to make certain if you're going to do this, you need to get it right. You better make certain that when you present your case, you present your evidence, people sit there and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that she did that," and it's just rock solid clear to people on both sides of the aisle that malfeasance occurred and that crimes were committed. That's the burden of proof that he has for going after Hillary, and I think he's the right guy to do that. He's a former federal prosecutor. He's a guy who sat on the Judiciary Committee for many, many years and understands that process. And he's a guy who is level-headed and attempts to do and wants to do the right thing. He's genuinely motivated by a desire to do the right thing, and he truly believes in the rule of law. So I think if anybody's going to be able to get this done, it'll be Jeff Sessions. I can't tell you what the outcome of that investigation will be, but I can tell you that he's not going to just go by headlines of what we know. He's going to go by what they know based on facts within the Justice Department that they uncover, and they're going to be able to pursue those facts. And if it's criminally liable, and not just kind of on a sidebar way, but in a real defined way where you can say this is definitely criminally liable, then he will go after her, and I believe he'll go after her, and I believe that she will end up going to having being put, serving, getting justice. I don't have the same faith as special counsel would do the same, because quite honestly, I don't like this idea of all these rogue prosecutorial agencies running around, separate budgets, not involved in outside the system, prosecuting, doing political prosecutions. Mueller needs to go away, and we don't need another special counsel for Hillary. Let the Justice Department do their job, and I'm confident with Jeff Sessions, the Justice Department will get to the right answer.
There's a faction in this country, Richard, and I don't have to tell you this. You see it and hear it and are living with it every day, that I myself right here on my radio program have been called a sexist and a hater of Hillary because I'm absolutely demanding that she pay for her transgressions against our government. And when you start talking about the Uranium One deal, and you start talking about the Clinton Foundation, and you talk about the dirty hands with Bill being involved and others being involved and money and graft under the table, you're doggone right. As a citizen of this country, the United States of America, I'm not only after Hillary. I want to find out all the graft and corruption that would give one of our arch enemies our assets of uranium. It's absolutely stupid.
I agree with you 100%. It is I look at this Uranium One thing. I look at the emails where we're basically, the State Department's business was being at the highest level, was being done through an unsecured server. I look at the amount of money that the Clintons have collected in what appears to be quid pro quo action, not just on Uranium One, but on a number of other things. We know that there's a long history of corruption as it relates to the Clintons. Zeb, I sit there and I look at this, I say, how can somebody be so evil as to say, I'm going to allow for a large quantity of uranium to be able to be shipped around the world, which we know it has occurred, that has occurred. We're not going to no tracking of it. When we actually sit there and look at this, we know that uranium can be turned into a nuclear weapon that ends up blowing up the world. And we somehow somebody made a calculation that was okay. And I want to get to the bottom of that more than anything. I want to get to the bottom of the unmaskings in the Obama administration, because that was a threat. That was a direct political use of our intelligence agencies against their political opponents. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that is so beyond the pale. It's stuff I never thought in my life I would ever have to deal with, because I never thought I was in East Germany. But we're in a different world, and we're going to have to come to grips with the fact that we're in a different world. And yes, I want the Justice Department to go after this with every bit of vigor that they can muster, because I think our country needs it. There's a downside, but I think our country needs to have a renewed sense that it's justice for all, not just justice for some. I know that Jeff Sessions feels that way. I don't know what the outcome of any investigations are going to be. I don't know, if there's laws that were stated that maybe they aren't written right, and so it was technically legal, but it was obviously illegal, some of the things that were done. But I know that Jeff Sessions is the right guy, because Jeff Sessions is not into doing a political prosecution. He's not into making himself look good for the next job. He's not into doing any of that stuff. He's into getting it right. He's into reestablishing the rule of law in the United States, so people know that no matter who you are, you're going to be treated equally under the law. That a private in the Army who mistakenly sends an email to somebody with something you shouldn't have sent in it is going to be treated just the same as a Secretary of State who puts 30,000 emails or loses 30,000 emails and had the whole State Department running through a private server. I mean, that's what Jeff Sessions needs to do, and it's a big task, because the Obama administration as a whole destroyed the rule of law everywhere they touched, whether the IRS, the State Department, Defense Department, Department of Justice, it didn't matter. Almost everywhere they touched, the rule of law went by the wayside. And Jeff Sessions is trying to put that together, and it's a huge job. And I don't know if he's going to accomplish it, but I don't know anybody else who would have a better chance of doing so.
One final thought, Richard, and then I've got to go, but I know that in the past you've worked with President Donald Trump on trade issues, and after he finished his Asian tour, at one of his speeches, I really enjoyed him saying he's going to put America first and think of us first instead of giving away the family farm to other people in other countries. And the left came out and criticized him and said, oh, no, that's not the way to stand up and talk to these people. I think that Donald Trump, with his condemnation of some of our trade policies, like the TPP, is a man that knows, because he's a businessman, what's good for us. What are your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. Donald Trump has been the single greatest breath of fresh air. You know, nobody respected Obama. I mean, nobody around the world. All this talk of bowing and scraping to everybody, they viewed him as a weak leader. You know, remember, these people around the world who we're dealing with in China and various other places, they are strong leaders. They don't get to the top of their food chain by being a weak leader. You know, we sometimes elect weak people through our system, and we pay a price for that. And we're paying a price from Obama based on the trade policies that he did. So you've got which many Republicans supported, by the way. So what we have now is somebody who's going to stand up. They're going to argue for America. They're going to stand up for America. I thought it was brilliant when he went to the Chinese to say, "I don't blame you that we were stupid." And that's essentially what he's saying to them. I don't blame you that we allowed you to take advantage of us. Just understand that's not going to happen anymore. That's resetting. That's a real reset of a relationship. That's a reset of a relationship on an honest basis. And that honest basis is that America's going to do what's in America's interest. You do what's in China's interest, and together we'll come together with some deals that make sense for both of us. But this current one-sided deal where you manipulate the currency and you flood our markets, you get a trade deficit of $500 billion trade deficit, and then you use that money to build your military so you can blow us up. That's not what we're going to do in the future. And by resetting those expectations, I think Donald Trump is setting the stage for doing some mutually beneficial agreements that will make the world safer, make our economy stronger, make the economies of the nations we're dealing with stronger as well. Because through those reciprocal deals, everywhere it's win-win rather than win-lose. Everybody wins. And when we have a strong America in the world, a strong American economy with a strong American consumer, the rest of the world who wants to trade with us benefit because they're going into that strong environment and they're selling stuff to us. So that's why Donald Trump's right. He's absolutely right on trade, and he stood up and said the right thing, and it made me proud to have been a supporter of him and from day one.
Oh, my goodness. I really appreciate you coming on the program. The president of the Americans for Limited Government, Richard Manning, and may I extend to you, sir, a very happy Thanksgiving wish. Thank you so much for being on my program.
Good to you and all your listeners. Have a great Thanksgiving. Remember who we give thanks to God above, and for all the blessings we have.
Amen. Richard, thank you so much. I'll talk to you in the future. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir. Take care.
Thank you. I enjoy having him on the program. He's a straight shooter, tells it like it is. President of Americans for Limited Government back in D.C. Richard Manning, thank you very much for being on the show. Holy cow, we got to get a weather forecast here. And the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs that have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. The best of tax return preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, and so much more. They can help you with people starting a business or a partnership or a corporation, or people wanting to hire more employees for their business. Please get a hold of them today. And don't forget, it's about time to get your 1099s and W-2s out too. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's Here's your weather forecast for this Monday as we head into a holiday week with Thanksgiving, and here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. Slight chance of rain showers possible, snow showers off and on throughout the day. Snow showers mostly up in the higher elevations. Going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Looking at a high of 44 tonight, chance of rain showers, low of 39. Now for tomorrow, slight chance of rain showers in the morning. Other than that, mostly cloudy skies, high of 54 with an overnight low of 39. For Wednesday, looks like partly cloudy skies, high of 60 with an overnight low of 38. And then for Thanksgiving Day itself, mostly sunny skies and 61. That is your weather for Zebeth Duran.
Wow, what a great forecast. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate that. And brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs serving you in Burley and Rupert. And they want to say thank you to everyone out there for their business. And don't forget, it's about time to do all your tax planning before the end of this year going into 2018. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Woo, busy day, and I want to remind you that we're going to have two great ladies on our program, one at 10:06 and the other one at 10:30. We're going to be talking about immigration with Maria Espinoza at 10:06 this morning, and then at 10:30 this morning we have scheduled Pamela Geller. Remember, she is the one that wrote the book on the fatwa against her, the Muslim fatwa, the death threats. And then right after we had her on the program the last time, they arrested two people that were in a plot to kill her. Pamela Geller is going to be on the program at 10:30 this morning. Don't miss it. Whoa, we better pay some more bills, and we want to remind everybody we'll take some more calls, too. Give us a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, write this down, 436-3200. They provide personalized help for each and every individual that stays there, and they have someone on duty 24 hours a day for help. And you can go by and tour the location anytime to see if it's just right for your loved one. As I said, providing more one-on-one care. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, the only assisted living facility located in Rupert, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call again, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Facility. Really good people, too. Come on, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I got to tell you this so that we're being fair and balanced on everything here this morning. In Connecticut, you can run for an office for your city or your local municipalities, etc., when you're only 20 years of age. And I saw over the weekend two of the sharpest young Negro men that I have ever seen in my life, regardless of ethnicity or race or whatever. And they're both 20 years of age back in the state of Connecticut. And they're both, get this, Republican. And boy, are they trying to make a difference, working for their constituents. Very sharp, very well educated, and believe me, when they were being interviewed, they said, no, it's not about us. It's about the people we serve and the job we can do to clean up politics and make people's lives better. What an innovative idea. Too bad they can't put that in the form of a pill and pass it around the Senate and the House, and maybe we'd all be a lot better off. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, by the way, don't forget Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. My goodness, yes, it's true. This is where the fun is sold. And they've got all the new 2018 snowmobiles, and they've got the new Wolverine four-seaters, and they've got all the four-wheelers and all the side-by-sides. They've got them all for you right there at Let's Ride. You can enjoy the great Idaho outdoors. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. Great accessory department, and, of course, one of the best service departments around to keep you running. Don't forget our friends at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and it is true, this is where the fun is sold. Really good people. All right, I got time for a phone call. Quickly, give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Love to hear from you, so come on, give me a call. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, we talked about that university, Brooklyn College, that won't let the police on the campus. What are your thoughts on that? It seems like there's more of a disintegration of a relationship with our police all the way across this country. And very unfortunately, in the last couple of days, 2 more policemen were shot and killed over nothing. Absolutely nothing. And both the assailants are on the run someplace, and I certainly hope they get them and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, if they even get that far, if you get my drift. But this has got to stop. The complete disintegration of respect for our police. And it seems to be rampant all over the United States. Caller, good morning. Quickly, you've got about 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Good morning, Zeb. I just want to, and you're talking about this father that seemed to be so irresponsible with this basketball player. When I was 15 years old, I had a driver's license, but not at night. But I talked my dad into letting me go to an FFA meeting and use the family car. Well, that worked out good, but I didn't go to the meeting. I went to see this girl who she didn't even really know who I was, but I was infatuated by her. And I just kept driving by her house, and her boyfriend got mad, and he started chasing me. And the end result was I hit a parked car and put myself in the hospital and everything. And at that time, George Worrell Sr. was the chief of police. And he sat down and talked to me. He said, well, I'm going to have to charge you with reckless driving. And I said, okay. He said, well, give me your license. So I give him my license, and after about 6 months, I told my dad, I said, Dad, what's wrong with the state? How come they don't give me back my license? He said, well, why don't you go talk to this chief? And so I did. I went down and talked to Chief Worrell, and I told him, he said, what do you think, you learned your lesson? And I said, yes. He reached in his desk drawer and pulled out my license. He had never sent it in.
Oh, my.
But I have the utmost admiration for that man.
Absolutely.
And his family went on. His
Quickly, Keith, I'm almost out of time. Fast, go.
But anyway, just to make the long story short, I learned a good lesson there, and my dad had told the chief, don't you take his license, but don't send it in this state.
There you go.
And my dad was really good that way, and I love him very much and miss him.
Oh, well, there's so many stories like that we could go on, and I appreciate your being so candid with us, and I've got to run to the news, but Keith, thank you again for calling. I do appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, sir. Bye. Thank you very much, and right now we're going to head for the news from CBS. We'll be back at 10:06. Don't go away. Good morning, good morning. Kind of a cloudy, overcast day out there today, but really not a bad forecast for Thanksgiving week, and Thanksgiving Day sounds beautiful, up into the 60s and sunshine. Can't knock that. Hey, welcome back, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of getting ready for winter driving. Stop in and see them today. And also, don't forget some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them 734-6969. Don't forget on Thursdays, and we won't have it on Thursday, but I'm going to tell you about our sponsors anyway, Cache County School Days, and, of course, Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got all kinds of the fall dresses on sale, and they've got all the baby gifts, all the baby furniture, they've got the baby clothing, they've got everything over there at a family store, a Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Teaming up with and being the co-sponsor with Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Number to call and find out more information about outpatient surgeries that can save you money. Life-saving colonoscopies, cataract surgery, carpal tunnel hand surgery, all of this and more. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World bringing you School Days in Cache County. Right now, we're going to I really was impressed with this lady a couple of weeks ago when she was on my program, and she is the National Director of the Remembrance Project, which honors and remembers Americans and legal residents who have been killed by illegal aliens. I like her. Maria Espinoza, how are you?
I'm doing well, Zeb. How are you doing? Thanks so much for inviting me back on your show.
Well, first and foremost, I want to wish you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving this week.
Thank you, and likewise to you as well.
Maria, you must absolutely just grind your teeth when you get and hear stories about this illegal alien in San Francisco that killed Kate Steinle, and now they're trying to pull it off as an accidental shooting. I mean, tell us what your thoughts are about this horrific case.
Oh, yes, that is a horrific case, Zeb. And, you know, for them to try and find a way out for this illegal alien who was 7 times deported, who came back to San Francisco because it was a sanctuary city, and for the city council to remain a sanctuary city per their vote. And now, not only that, but Governor Jerry Brown has made California a sanctuary state. This is unbelievable how little regard these so-called elected officials who are supposed to represent the citizenry have for our families. And every one of your listeners should take note. This is what a liberal-minded representatives are doing. And, you know, we have to stand up and rise up.
Maria, why haven't the taxpayers, in the case of California and also even across the United States back in New York City with Bill de Blasio, why haven't the taxpayers had the gumption or the wherewithal to stand up and say, no, we're fed up with this garbage, we're not going to be a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state? Where are the people that know that this is creating more lawlessness?
Right. You know, that's common sense will tell you that creates more lawlessness and encourages more chaos and lawlessness, total disregard for life. Well, a lot of this has to do with political correctness, number one, and also because our stats, the statistics, are not placed out there first and foremost, and the public is reminded so that the public is not reminded. And that's one thing that we've always had trouble as garnering is the statistics, and I really believe that if the American people knew the statistics on life lost, the crimes committed by illegal aliens is 100% preventable, the money, the taxpayer dollar that goes into funding and supporting the illegal aliens here in our country. I'll give you a quick stat that we heard recently from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. In a 10-year period from 2006 to 2016, there were over 600,000 crimes committed by illegal aliens upon the Texans. 1,200 of those were homicides, and I was thinking, if I remember correctly, 67,000 were rapes and molestations. So all 100% preventable.
Okay, Maria, I'm a real simple old cowboy here in the state of Idaho, but you got to tell me this. It's a simple question. Why are we letting this happen? Why are our senators and congressmen letting this happen? Why is the Oval Office letting this happen? They are breaking the law, and they're providing a benefit and welfare system to people that do not belong in this country. Why?
Why? That's a big question. Well, couple reasons, and number one, I think President Donald Trump is doing all he can, but as you know, Zeb, there are many obstructionists. Not only is he going against the entire mainstream media, he's also going against having to fight with the Democrats and most of the Republicans because of the big dollar. That's what it is about. This is about a voting bloc for the Democrats, and it's about more money into the coffers of those elected officials, establishment, the deep state people who want to be reelected and keep those cush jobs and be treated like royalty. If you notice that these elected officials have suddenly become royalty rather than servants. And that's the big issue here. We have the U.S. Chambers of Commerce, the industries like the hotel restaurant industry, the construction industry, many jobs that our families should be working in, and 95+ million Americans would be working in the workforce. Those are the reasons why. And again, our mission at the Remembrance Project is to save lives, stop the preventable killings, this epidemic of killings all across the United States, and educate and raise awareness so that people know to rise up and speak up, and educate those elected officials as well. We need to look at an America First agenda.
Let me ask you this. As the National Director of the Remembrance Project, what kind of power, what kind of pull does your organization have into waking up some of our politicians and making them understand this has got to stop? What kind of power play can you pull?
Well, I think that the power is within each one of us. It's the voters. That's what the power is. We are trying to raise awareness so that people will talk about this epidemic of killing and the people who are most forgotten. We would say that the victims' families are those who are most forgotten, and the victims themselves were a voice for the victims. However, it's the average American who has been most forgotten, Deb, because it seems like our government and these elected officials have no regard for the average American. So what we're doing is educating, raising awareness, and we do have some access to the administration, but it cannot be up to one person. It doesn't rest on one man's shoulders. We do have a friend in the White House now who loves our country and loves Americans. However, it is up to the listener and every one of us individually, because we have the power of the vote. And every one of your listeners should have their elected officials, local, state, and federal officials, on phone numbers on their speed dial and call every week or how often you want. Be polite but stern. And take a look, Deb. In this coming Thanksgiving, we have families all across the United States. I spoke to what we call an angel dad, John Pena in California, who will be spending his Thanksgiving visiting his daughter's grave of nearly 30 years, and her mother will be there as well, and they're in their golden years. His daughter should be around taking care of him and alive. That was their only child. We have also the Border Patrol agent Martinez in Texas was just killed a few days ago. His family will be spending Thanksgiving mourning their son, and here his head was bashed in by an illegal alien with rocks. Another agent seriously injured in fighting for his life. So this is what's going on a daily basis. We focus on the killing, but there are so many crimes that were preventable if only laws were enforced and our representatives place our safety and welfare first.
I'm just really frustrated, Maria, because I'm sick and tired of watching our welfare grow like a cancer. I'm sick and tired of seeing Social Security depleted, and I'm in my golden years, per se. I'm sick and tired of seeing things just given to people that are not citizens of this United States, that are abusing the privilege of being here, and we're called the bigots and the hate mongers if we raise a ruckus. This is insane.
It absolutely is insane, Zeb. I agree with you. And understand this as well, that Mexico has a self-interest in keeping their citizens here in our country because they don't have to take care of them. They don't have to, educate and medicate them. They don't have to deal with the crimes that they commit as well. And they get to collect the remittance fees that they place on the money that is wire transferred into their country. The remittance fees garners their government $2 billion a month. $2 billion a month. I've heard two statistics on that. I heard that the remittance fees has surpassed the petrochemical industry in economic growth. I know they were number 2. I don't know if the remittance fee has moved it to number 1. So Mexico has poured in $50 million into centers of defense here in the United States, in every consulate, 50 consulates, to help illegal aliens remain in our country. That is absurd. In my opinion, that is meddling in our governmental affairs. They lobby Congress as well. I think it's a reason for them to be removed, and that's something that we met with the State Department on about 2 months ago, asking them to remove the Mexican consulate because they were meddling in our governmental affairs. We're going to keep pressing on that, Zeb, but right now, there just seems to feel that they don't have enough evidence to do that.
Well, I am, for one, and I think you are too, in favor of the wall, be it an incremental wall or a portion of the wall in various stages along our southern border. But I'm advocating not only build the wall, but the way that we're seeing such an influx of people coming in here and taking care of our welfare system, I wish they'd hook that wall up to about a 220 outlet.
They should. Remember, Herman Cain said that, electrify the fence, and he was, put down for that. But absolutely, we should defend our borders at all costs and however any means possible, just like every other country does. In fact, that's how Mexico does. They will have a gunman shoot you if you enter illegally into their country. But I also know that they help other countries' citizens travel through their country, but that's a whole different issue. But yes, we are for the wall, absolutely. Just think of this. It will cost us a lot less in the long run, Zeb, to secure our borders than it is to put out all the health and welfare that we do of over $300 billion a year on illegal aliens, incarceration, all the above, education. So I'm definitely for the wall. And just think, if we had another administration that was as opening borders as the Obama administration was, where will we be then? Americans are still waiting for that 1986 Reagan wall. Where's our promises? That needs to be filled before any consideration needs to be given to those illegally in our country.
Let me ask you one final thought here, Maria, and it goes into our education, whether it's elementary, whether it's high school, whether it's college, whatever. They have been brainwashed that we don't need borders. They've been brainwashed that we don't need a constitution. They've been brainwashed that everybody is welcome here in this country. I am sick and tired of our education system allocating the fact to these youngsters that we're the bad guys because we want to draw a line in the sand and say, if you want to come here legally, but not just everybody welcome, all hands on deck. How do we change the information that's being provided to our students and clean up education on this immigration issue?
Well, it starts with elected officials, and it starts with your board of supervisors, not sure what you call them, but superintendents, your education board locally, school board, pardon me, and get the right people there. And be sure that every parent should know what that is being taught to their children in their schools. That's very important. And speak out. Not only know what they're being taught, but help. You have to be involved more so than ever before. So again, it goes back to educating ourselves what's going on so that we can make good decisions and understand what your elected officials are telling you, because every single one of them is going to send out their newsletter that you sign up for and say how wonderful of a job they're doing. But we all know now that that's not the truth. So stay involved, call them, volunteer as much as possible, and speak up.
If someone would like to find out more about the Remembrance Project and find out more about you as the national director, do you have a website that we can refer people to?
We do, and they have to type it into the URL bar because Google is playing games with us. I think that also shows that we are out here going toe-to-toe and battling with these major powers. We're just a tiny organization, but we've been very fortunate. God has guided us, and I will say that first and foremost, that we are doing the best that we can, but we definitely need everyone's help, and it's just not us. It's thousands of people who have helped us. The website is www.theremembranceproject.org. Theremembranceproject.org. And I do encourage those who can afford to donate $5 a month, $10 a month. That would be a huge help and going a long way in being able for us to be able to continue our work.
Absolutely. Maria, I find you to be one of the most interesting and most well-spoken people about this subject I've had on the air, and God bless you, the National Director of the Remembrance Project, Maria Espinoza. Thank you, and again, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Zeb. God bless you, too, and happy Thanksgiving to all your listeners.
Thank you very, very much. What a nice lady, and she knows and tells it just like it is, and I really appreciate her. All the Americans and legal residents that have been killed by illegal aliens. Illegal aliens. One of the dumbest things I heard this morning, and I stopped dead in my tracks going down the hallway, is that the killer of Kate Steinle in San Francisco, his defense attorneys are absolutely saying that he pulled the trigger by accident. 3 times by accident. This is despicable, and I hope it's thrown out of court. I hope that this guy fries. A beautiful young woman walking with her father down a pier in San Francisco, shot 3 times, and call it an accident. Absolutely asinine. Oh, I got time for a call. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to give you some businesses that are absolutely wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving, and they include Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street in Rupert. Hello, folks. How are you? And if you need a new carpet, they've got all the new carpet selections for you. Call Magic Valley Carpet today at 436-1722 in Rupert, Magic Valley Carpet. Along with Butte Irrigation at 116 South, 600 West of Paul, and also at Red Cap Corner on Kimberly Road, your Zomatic dealer. And for all your irrigation needs, they'll get you wet, I guarantee it. And they say congratulations to all the farmers for a great harvest year. Butte Irrigation. And Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. My goodness, they can do it all. Manufacturing, material handling, food-grade equipment, conveyors, commodity mixing. You call my friend Tim. He is to a great guy at 431-7314 at Streamline Precision. They are wishing you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving. Really nice people. Oh, my goodness sakes. We're going to be having Pamela Geller on the program here at about 10:33 this morning, and I've got time, an open line for right now. Give me a jingle at the old 436-2244 number or 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Like to hear from you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We had a great weekend, even though the weather was kind of surly sometimes, but had a chance to get outside and get a lot of things done. We even, thanks to two of my grandsons, Jackson and Jacob, were over here, and they helped Grandma and Grandpa put up all the Christmas tree lights. Wow. It was fun having them over here, too. Great work. And besides that, all I had to do is offer a whole bunch of cheeseburgers and pizza. So I appreciate all the help. Don't forget, too, our friends at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Wonderful people. And they urge you to stop by and find out more. Take a tour of the location, Autumn Haven, and you'll see it's providing more one-on-one care for a member of your family. Maybe you have a member of your family that needs a little bit of personalized one-on-one care, and they provide it. And they've got somebody there 24 hours a day for help. Please take a tour, find out more about a wonderful facility, the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. You be sure and check it out today. I had this on a couple of minutes ago, and I'm going to reiterate it one more time here quickly. The Century Cinema... I want to get this paper right here. Century Cinema 5 Movie Theater is going to have a Christmas movie special this coming Saturday, November 25th, showing at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Two movies to choose from, Despicable Me 3 or Sing. Both are family movies and both are rated PG. Admission is 2 cans of food, and all the food goes to the Christmas Council, and the concessions and employees' time donated to the Mini-Cassia Community Chest, Coats for Kids. This is really going to be quite a deal, and I urge you to help. That's coming up this next Saturday. Then also the Mini-Cassia Realtors, and their number right up front, 878-9170. They're helping provide coats and blankets, etc., to keep Mini-Cassia warm. Sponsored by the Mini-Cassia Association of Realtors, and all the donations are due on or before December 12th. Donations will be accepted by any real estate or affiliate offices in the Mini-Cassia area, and they need coats and warm blankets for all kinds of different folks, various sizes. Please call this number for more information, 878-9170. And I understand that Pomerell Place is also one of the drop-off spots for this benefit of Keep Mini-Cassia Warm, put out by the Mini-Cassia Association of Realtors. Lots of people doing a lot of nice things to help their fellow man during not only Thanksgiving but also our Christmas season. As I mentioned, we're going to have Pamela Geller coming on the program in just about 3 or 4 minutes, but right now we're going to send it back over to Wheels at our main studio. We'll be back with more Zeb at the Ranch in just a few.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
This next guest that I'm going to have this morning on this program was here on our show a couple of weeks ago. I asked her if she would come back, and she is coming back as of right now, and she is the author of the new book called Fatwa, Hunted in America. Pamela Geller, the founder, editor, and publisher of the Geller Report. Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Wheels, is she there?
Yes, sir, she should be. Give me 1 second.
1 second only. Once again, waiting to get her on the air this morning. Pamela Geller. Pam, are you there this morning? Good morning.
I think her phone dropped, but she was there for a second. Let me go ahead and call her back.
All right, please call her immediately. Really looking forward to having this lady on the program this morning because she is also the president of the American Freedom Defense Initiative and Stop Islamization of America. Absolutely, I'm in favor of that. And hopefully we can get her on the air here just momentarily. While I'm waiting, quickly, I want to remind everybody, too, that the American Falls Community Choir, directed by Dan Bowman and accompanied by David Bowman, will be presenting their annual Christmas concert at the Rupert United Methodist Church on December 11th at 7:30 p.m. That's a Monday evening, and there is a love offering, and there's also going to be some light refreshments. Don't forget, in the Christmas season, over at the United Methodist Church in Rupert. Wheels, do we have her back on the air?
Yes, sir, we do.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we had a little bit of phone difficulties, but I'm very honored to have this lady back on my program. She's the author of the new book, and it is a dynamic book, Fatwa, Hunted in America. Pamela Geller, good morning. How are you?
Very good, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
Pam, I'm going to be real honest with you. I've watched you and listened to you on television and radio, and as an old cowboy radio talk show host in Idaho, I am very concerned. I'm very worried that we're seeing a Muslim takeover of our culture and our politics in this United States. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And frankly, there would be nothing wrong had it not been for the political aspects of Islam. Unlike Judaism or Christianity, Islam is not just a religion. It is a comprehensive system. It is political, it is legal, it is military, it is dietary, it is social, it is cultural. And Muslims are the only immigrant group that come to this country with a ready-made model of society that they believe to be superior. And we are seeing the norming of Sharia. We are seeing the norming of mores that 30, 40 years ago, we would find counter to Western values. The suppression of free speech, for example, under the guise of hate speech. The idea that you cannot criticize Islam. You have a media who is Sharia compliant, who lies to the American people and says Allahu Akbar is a beautiful phrase, when in fact Allahu Akbar, it was Muhammad's jihad war cry, and it is just that. It is a war cry. We have Mattel making a hijab Barbie modeled after a failed Olympian who didn't get any medals, but because she wore the hijab, she gets a doll modeled after her. Why? Where's Hindu Barbie? Where's Jewish Barbie? Where's Christian Barbie? We don't see that. You have Linda Sarsour, a vicious pro-Sharia, and I'm talking about pro-Saudi Sharia, pro-terror, anti-Semite, who's leading the women's movement, was just named Glamour's Woman of the Year. This is the norming of Islamization. This is cultural jihad. And yes, people should be very concerned. And if you want to know what you should be worried about, one only needs to look to Europe, which really is in a low state of war. You have the soldiers deployed on the streets of Paris, literally. The French military are deployed on the streets. They are either thwarting, foiling, or experiencing jihad attacks every day. Girls can't walk to school. Their parents have to take them or drive them. The rape jihad across the continent is one of the great unreported stories of the last, 2 years. The spike in stabbings, knife jihad in Germany, the vehicular jihad in the UK, in London, and so on. This is happening. But again, the media is Sharia compliant, which means they cannot or will not offend Islam. And so what they do is anyone that refuses to submit, anyone that refuses to adhere to the Sharia, like myself, I refuse, I'm a free American, not a Muslim, and I don't live under Islamic law. They will demonize, they will monsterize, they will attack. So bold are they, so brave are these cowards. They attack people like myself who they know will not hurt them. I won't. I do battle in the information battle space. I do battle in the war of ideas, and I know I will win because my ideas of individual rights and freedom of speech, freedom of conscience are better. But they won't debate me because their ideas cannot stand up to challenge. Their ideas cannot stand up to scrutiny. And certainly the Sharia and Islam cannot stand up to scrutiny and challenge, which is why they have to silence. They have to silence people that do challenge. Look, fatwa, the name of my book, is a fatwa is a legal ruling by a recognized authority under Islam. I am living under a death sentence, under a fatwa. Here in America, I have been the target of multiple bloody attempts to kill me. In Garland, Texas, jihadists opened fire on a free speech event I held in Garland. In Boston, just 2 weeks ago, the leader of a Muslim cell to behead me was convicted on all charges in that plot to behead me. Recently, another Muslim, I think, was indicted in North Carolina in a plot to kill me. This is America. And by the way, you don't hear about these plots in the media because it goes against their narrative. I'm the monster. Meanwhile, I'm the hunted one. I'm the one who lives under 24-hour security. But I am the monster, right? Because I will not adhere to Islamic law in America. Most Americans are painfully unaware of this. It's happening slowly right under their noses. And they think that if they oppose it, that they're racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigots, even though Islam is not a race. But that's what they're told. They're told if they oppose it, they're an Islamophobe, and they don't want to be an Islamophobe. And so they don't understand that Islamophobia is merely a term in which to enforce Sharia. That's what Islamophobia is. It is a Sharia term for anyone who opposes jihad terror. And that's why my book, Fatwa, Hunted in America, is required reading. Because the American people are like Helen Keller and someone moved the furniture. This is going on. Whether you recognize it or not is not going to stop it. But whether you recognize it or not is going to change the course of American history, and it is up to everyone to get educated, and which is why I wrote the book.
Let me ask you this, Pamela, and I don't know this to be a fact because I do not, and I have not talked to every politician, all the congressmen and all the senators, but I see a naivete of our leaders in politics that absolutely have a blind eye and a deaf ear as to what this problem is and how it's growing with their culture, the Muslim culture in America. Why can't we make them understand this is a very serious problem and enveloping each and every state in the United States?
Because politicians are not on the forefront. Politicians lick their finger, stick it up in the air, and see which way the wind is going. We have to change the culture before we can change the politics. They're chasing the culture. They're not in front of it. They're behind it. They're looking in the rearview mirror. I mean, the politicians are not going to save us. We are going to save us. It's the culture, and let's be honest, the left is in charge of the culture, whether it's media, whether it's music, whether it's movies. Look at movies. I mean, did you ever stop to think why, since 9/11, there have been 32,000 deadly, I'm not counting foiled in there, deadly Islamic attacks? Why, out of Hollywood, do you never see a movie with Islamic terrorists?
That's right.
The terrorists are always Russian or Serb, absurdly. Or, one case with Liam Neeson, he was a terrorist on an airplane, and he was the member of a 9/11 family. That's how vile and disgusting the left is, and how in bed they are with the Islamic supremacists, this red-green alliance. Do you know that Hollywood vets their scripts through MPAC, the Muslim Public Affairs Council, to make sure they're not offending Muslims? Again, the Sharia. That in music, you see it with music, movies, entertainment, books. Milo published my book. After Garland, Texas, no book publisher would touch me. They were afraid that their publishing house would be blown up. When did America become so afraid and cowed? And even in Idaho, you had a terrible story there, which to this day the media denies, of a 5-year-old little girl who was attacked by a Muslim migrant mob. They pled guilty, and still, the Grant Loeb, the prosecuting attorney, and the media there, Twin Falls, denied it, never spoke to the family, denied it. I mean, this is across the board. And so people need to understand we are at war in the information battle space. All the bullets and the bombs and the bloodshed comes as a result of what happens in this war, and you have to get armed, which is why you should read the book, or read Ibn Warwick. or read Bachayur. But this is not static. This is fluid. This is moving. And there are no casual observers in this war. There's a right side and a wrong side, and sitting on the fence is evil. And if you care a whit about your freedom, you will get involved. You have to subscribe to my website, GellerReport.com. It's free. You'll get news the media is not. You will get news the media will not cover because it goes against their narrative. You see it with Trump. You see it with all things. They have this chokehold, and we have to. It's not going to be an easy fight. And believe me, the left is a decades-long march into our institutions. Look at universities. Universities have become hotbeds of radicalism. They become Antifa recruitment centers. My colleagues and we haven't been invited to speak on universities for years now. And when we do, the last time I was invited was for Free Speech Week, ironically enough, at Berkeley. And, of course, it was canceled. But what bothered me more than anything was seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of young people marching against the freedom of speech, the very foundation of a free society. Without it, a tyrant can wreak havoc unopposed. There are serious things going on.
Is this Islamization of America partly or majorly due to the decline in Christianity respect and the denigration of the Christian faith?
Well, it absolutely, it's open season on Christians. Christians are being slaughtered en masse in Africa and the Middle East. The Middle East, once a Christian region. With the exception of Israel, Christians are not safe anywhere there. And you never hear anything about that. You never hear about the genocide of Christians in Syria. It's a big shrug. Nobody cares. Oh, but if there's a perceived insult against a Muslim, it's front page headlines all over the world. You saw a girl here in New York. She said that somebody pulled a hijab off on the train. And it was headlines everywhere. And when it turned out her name was Yasmin Saiwad, when it turned out she was lying, because half of these anti-Muslim incidents are either lies or perpetrated by Muslims in order to advance this bogus narrative of Islamophobia, that was very few newspaper outlets reported on the fact that it was all a lie. And why was she lying? She lied and said that that she was insulted on the train by Islamophobes because she was going with a non-Muslim boy, and she was afraid of what her family would do. And I'll tell you something, Zeb, when she showed up at the courthouse, her head was shaved. Her father had shaved her head. And you know what? Not one media, not the New York Times, not the New York Post, no one said, oh my God, he shaved her head as punishment. And you know what the punishment was for? Not that she lied about Islamophobia, but that she was dating a non-Muslim boy. The media is complicit. The media is dangerous. The media is the enemy, and people need to understand that this is war. It really is. It's a war for the hearts and minds of the American people. I think we've lost the millennials. I think the generation after that, Gen X, we have a better shot at because they don't like what they're seeing. Because really, it's totalitarianism, this shutting down of free speech. Listen, the First Amendment protects all ideas, not just ideas that we like. Because then who would decide what's good and what's forbidden? The government? ISIS? You know what I mean? CARE, a terrorist group, the unindicted co-conspirator CARE, which the media lauds as like the Martin Luther King of the Muslim advocacy world, Council of American Islamic Relations, who were named as Muslim Brotherhood-tied groups, who the UAE has designated as a terrorist organization. This is who the media goes to. It's their go-to for all things Islam. After San Bernardino, the very first press conference, and every media outlet was there, was held by CARE, a terrorist group, to admonish us, to scold us, that any opposition to Islam is Islamophobia, that opposition to jihad terror is Islamophobia. After every jihad attack, you will notice, think about what I'm about to say, after every jihad attack, everywhere, we are told Muslims fear backlash.
Yeah.
Backlash that never happens.
Very true.
Brace for Islamophobia.
Very true.
What we are told is Muslims are the true victims of Islamic terror. And this is what we're supposed to buy. It's the huge lie. It's the big lie. It's like the Soviets and the Nazis, the big lie. And they have to keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it because it's such a lie. But in order to make it believable, it's like what Hitler said, you tell the big lie over and over and over again, and that's, Islam is peace. Jake Tapper saying Allahu Akbar means, is a beautiful phrase. New York Times doing not one, but two, in as many days, pieces on Allahu Akbar and how it's really a beautiful thing. I mean, it's unbelievable. They have to keep telling people this because it's not believable, because it's impossible to believe. But, people need to believe their eyes. They're telling you, don't believe your eyes, believe my lies. That's what they're saying.
Well, Pamela, let me ask you this question, and I'm almost out of time, but I want to get this in. What about our Christian churches? Regardless of the denomination, are the pastors and the pulpits doing enough to thwart this problem, or are they lying over and being cowards?
No, they're not. As a matter of fact, they're worse than that. They are doing these bogus outreach programs where Muslims come in and they don't vet the imams and they don't vet the organizations, and they're terror-tied organizations like ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, and CARE, okay? And they proselytize. It's outreach. They talk about a bridge. What they don't realize is that, according to Qutb, a great Islamic scholar, yes, a bridge, but it goes only one way to Islam. Only one way. When do rabbis and when do priests and when do pastors get to go into mosques and proselytize? Never. Okay? So the churches, the anti-Israel churches, I mean, that whole thing is a jihad against the Jews. Palestinian is just a euphemism for, Islamic Jew hatred. Israel cannot exist in the Islamic world. The existence of Israel is deeply humiliating and deeply offensive to devout Muslims. Read the Quran. Islamic anti-Semitism is embedded in the Quran, embedded in the Hadith. It is a religious imperative. It's got nothing to do with land. It's just absurd. This tiny little country, 9 miles it's wide. It's about land, surrounded, by the way, by ginormous Muslim lands, and it's about land. It's absolute absurdity. Just like it's the same big lie like Allahu Akbar is a beautiful phrase. So it was Muhammad's jihad war cry. It's what he screamed as he went into villages to rape, pillage, and destroy. So my answer to you is the churches have become complicit. They've become tools, and shame on them. And by the way, we have that in Judaism as well.
Absolutely.
The left-wing Jews have become, aligned with the jihad force as well, and they're godless, and, they too are advancing this bogus narrative. We get this all the time. Hindus also, who've suffered more than Hindus? 100 million Hindus in jihadi wars, land appropriations, cultural annihilations, and enslavements. Listen, there is a side, it's political. It's literally left versus right, but that's where the lines are decidedly marked. Not every church, not every pastor, certainly not, but the ones that have the mouthpieces, the ones that have, and of course they have the mouthpieces because the mouthpieces are decidedly left. The mouthpieces are not going to give, the media is not going to give a pastor or a reverend or a priest who opposes the, Christianophobia, that opposes the creed apartheid, they're not going to give him a mouthpiece. Ever.
That's right.
They're going to monsterize him.
That's right.
Monsterize all us counter-jihadists. That's why we need to build a movement, and it's certainly doable. First of all great intellectual movements were built originally by a small group. And, look at Trump. They all said he could never be elected. I mean, he had an enormous machine, huge machine against him, media, music, academia, public school, everything, and he won. So we're out there. We just have to get our act together, and we have to get rid of those on the right, the rhinos, that are trying to kill us.
Absolutely.
The rhinos that align with the left.
Absolutely.
The standards, the Bill Kristols, the Brett Stevens, these never Trumpers. I mean, hey, listen, we went along with you when you gave us the worst candidates in the world, John McCain. When you gave us weak candidates, Mitt Romney. But we went along with it. We understood what was at stake. Now, all of a sudden, you don't like who we pick, and you're going to war against us? So next election, and this past election when they said, the Democrats had no, Democrats didn't have a great day. That's not what happened. it was a rebuke of the rhinos.
That's right.
What it was.
That's
it was
right.
A rebuke of the rhinos. And I think that the right is going to have this fight, and they're going to have to figure it out if we're going to win. I mean, the idea that we're fighting amongst ourselves now, that's what the enemy needs.
Absolutely.
Never interrupt the enemy when he's making a mistake. Well, we're making a mistake. We have to get behind Trump. Look, do I love everything he does? No. But am I going to make perfect the enemy of the good? No. Would you rather have Hillary? I mean, these depraved criminals, and that's what they are. I don't care if you could put lipstick on a pig. That's what they are. I mean, is that what you want? You can't make perfect the enemy of the good. You try and push and say, hey, Mr. President, you promised an embassy in Jerusalem. Hey, Mr. President, you got to designate the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization. Hey, Mr. President, what's with McMaster? You know, we elected you because of the guys like Flynn and Bannon. I mean, so you push your agenda. You know, you do your best, but you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Amen. That's right. Pamela, I absolutely encourage my listeners to buy your book, Fatwa, Hunted in America, by Pamela Geller. God bless you, Pamela. Happy Thanksgiving, and please know I'm going to call you back in the future. Thank you so much.
Love you, Zeb. Thanks for having me. Happy Thanksgiving, and God bless to you and yours.
Oh, thank you so much. Great lady and a great book, Fatwa, Hunted in America by Pamela Geller. Thank you for taking the time to be on our show. Holy cow, I got to get a weather forecast in here. Wheels is just kind of tapping his fingers on the desk over there. And the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. You can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, Christmas right around the corner, and Scarrows Meats is ready for all your needs. They've got smoked turkeys, just $2.69 per pound, marinated prime rib. If you've never had this, get it. Oh, it's delicious. $12 a pound, and unmarinated prime rib, $11.99 per pound. Smoked hams, $3.70 per pound. Oh my goodness sakes, they've got a fantastic retail meat department. I'm drooling. Sounds good, is good. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for this Monday as we head into a holiday week with Thanksgiving, and here's what we're looking at as far as weather is concerned. Slight chance of rain showers possible, snow showers off and on throughout the day. Snow showers mostly up in the higher elevations. Going to be a little bit on the breezy side as well. Looking at a high of 44 tonight, chance of rain showers, low of 39. Now for tomorrow, slight chance of rain showers in the morning. Other than that, mostly cloudy skies, high of 54 with an overnight low of 39. For Wednesday, looks like partly cloudy skies, high of 60 with an overnight low of 38. And then for Thanksgiving Day itself, mostly sunny skies and 61. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, and our best to Scarrows Meats over in Jerome. Don't forget, call them today at 324-7657 or go to their website, www.scarrowsmeats.com. 331 North Road in Jerome. Absolutely the best Scarrows Meats. Also, real quick, we want to remind everybody about our friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, get ready for wintertime driving with the best of tires for your cars, your pickups, your SUVs. They also have all the tire chains, everything you need to get through all the snow, the muck, and the ice. Be sure and stop over and see them today. Great folks, because doing the right thing matters, and they do the right thing. Don't forget to stop in, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, very important batteries. Don't forget to check out Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. They are absolutely the best serving you, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Tomorrow on the program, Tuesday, we're going to have a really good bunch of people coming on. We got Dr. Dennis Durrell. We have, we've got Mr. Perkins coming on the air tomorrow, and along with Ray Bagby talking about the Old West, and Megan Barth is going to be on the program with us too. All of this and more tomorrow on our Tuesday broadcast of Zeb at the Ranch. We'll start at 8:06 tomorrow morning and go to 11. Don't forget, the way things were are the way things ought to be. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:06. Wheels, take it away.